Hi friends, today I am going to explain how we can do validations, the different ways of doing validations in MVC. So there are some 5 or 6 different ways how we can do validations in MVC. One is data annotations, second one is overriding the validation attribute, third is implementing the iValidatable interface. There is another interface called iClient validatable, and also we have the fluent validations. These are some of the ways, but we will be covering the first 3 in this video. So we will start with this. So first one is the data annotation. So for example, if I make age as required and I am making the place as a mandatory, both as mandatory but place as a custom error message, which I am setting it from the data annotations. So for this we want system.componentModel.data annotations namespace. I'm just going to my UI. So here if I click create, what happens? I can see 2 messages. Age field is required, which is a message which comes by default when I give the required attribute. And here for the third field place, I can see place is mandatory. Place is mandatory because I gave the error message as place is mandatory. Otherwise I would have got the error message as place is required. So how this is displayed, if you go to inspect the element, I can see some classes added for this purpose and with the message already there in the HTML. Message gets inserted here with some classes which gives the color of the message. Okay. Now this validation, whether it happens or on the client or server, depends on this attribute which is set here. If client validation enabled equals true, validation happens in the client side. So this is for required, which can be applied. We can make our custom validations by overriding the validation attribute. So I am going to create one. Here I am creating one validation attribute. So when I create the validation attribute, if I just cut it for now, I give quick actions and I tell generate override. See, I can see different methods in which I want to override the isValid method. So I override it. So here I am going to validate the string length should be less than 10. If it is greater than 10, I am telling it is an invalid string length. And then after creating this validator, I can use this as an attribute. For example, in the name field, I will tell length should be less than 10. I am using that as an attribute here. Just like we use the required validator, I can use it like a validator here. Now I will see. So I will give. And this now the place length is less than 10, so it should be valid. So yeah, it went to next screen. But what happens now if it is not valid? I give some other extra characters so that the length is greater than 10. Don't think this is executing. I will run it again. Yeah, I should have applied my attribute to, I applied it to name and I was trying in place. That was the problem. So here I give more length. So I got a message, field name is invalid. Now I will again reduce length less than 10. See, it passed the validation. So this is one way of adding attributes specific to each property. So this is a custom validate attribute which I implemented by overriding the validation attribute class and overriding the isValid method present in the validation attribute class. So if I go to validation attribute, I can see different classes, different methods in which I am overriding this method. Fine. So this is one way. Suppose if I have complex validations which should happen to the class level, how I'll do is using the implementing the iValidatable interface. So how I will implement the iValidatable is I copy this in my class, go to employee class, and I tell I am going to implement the iValidatable interface object. So now since I have to implement it, I will tell implement interface. When I tell implement interface, I can see it is I want to give add a method for the validate method, give an implementation for the validate method. I'll just copy paste my code which I have written for that. I have some validation which should happen in any property of this class. That is the advantage of this way of doing. Before I go to this, imagine I have a requirement like my name. If my name is John, my age should be less than 12. So such a validation, for doing such a validation, what we do, we give it here. If emp dot in the controller level. But what is the disadvantage of doing it here? I return some message, suppose. Do some validation and return some message. But what is the disadvantage if I do like this? The disadvantage is that tomorrow if any other place this employee class is used, there also the same validation has to happen. Problem is I should copy paste this code to that action, controller action. So that is the disadvantage. So instead of for reuse, we can put it here by implementing the iValidatable object for employee class. And now we will see whether it works. So I will give age greater than 13 and I give John as my name. I give any place, doesn't matter. So it is validating and telling age cannot be greater than 12 for John. I think, yeah, my spelling was wrong. Now I will test the positive scenario also. So I will again give 11 and I give John G-O-H. So now what should happen? See, it is a success. Again I will go here. If I give 14 or 15, it should fail. So the validation is working. Now question is, now there are some other methods also how we can, similar to iValidatable object, we have an iClient validatable for the validations to happen in the client. Then we have a NuGet package called Fluent Validations. NuGet package Fluent Validations also help us to add validations just as we did in iValidatable, but in a more easy and convenient way, which can be applied on the class level by using the parenthesis square bracket notation, not parenthesis, the square bracket notation. So these are some things. Now one thing which I want to tell is, when we add a required field validation like this, data annotation, where does that validation happens is a question which usually people ask. So if I go here, suppose if I remove this where the validation happens. Does it happen in the client or does it happen in the server? That depends on a setting which we are setting in web config, client validation enabled as true or false. And also if I inspect the element, I can see that there are some classes like field validation error which is present in the HTML. That is present because we have this text editor for. So these are some things which I wanted to tell you on this. Thank you.